Hey everybody, welcome back to Shock and Schlock. I'm your host, Churchill Gills, and today is day 3 of the 31 Days of Horror Reviews. And today I'm taking a look at one of my favorite directors for, I believe, the second time on the channel, but was my 8th film by him. Um, that is, of course, Andy Milligan. This box set is so nice. And I watched Guru the Mad Monk from 1970. Now, what is Guru the Mad Monk? It's about a 15th century prison colony, and this chaplain is really weird um, and wants to rise the ranks of the church through murder. He has a mistress who is a vampire, and he has a hunchback um, who does his bidding. And our sort of central character here is a man whose name is Carl, and his lover, Nadja. Nadja is jailed because of infanticide that was not her fault. I believe it was, a miscarriage. It was kind of murky on what that actually was, but anyway, she's jailed because of that, and she's going to be executed. So Carl, seeking solace and help, goes to Father Guru, who is the titular mad monk, but he's the chaplain, for help for this because he's like the prison, almost leader in this scenario, and sort of becomes indebted to him, and yeah. Not going to spoil a lot about the plot here because this is definitely a film that it doesn't have a lot of twists and turns, but it continues going at a steady pace, but in a way that the plot is more just a scenes compiled together, where they could work as individual little scenes. There's not a huge overarching plot in this. It's pretty simple. Film's just under an hour, so it moves at a pretty quick pace there. And yeah, so what do I like about Guru the Mad Monk? Well, the thing about Andy Milligan is he was a very interesting filmmaker. Number one, go read about Andy Milligan. I'm not going to do a video essay right now. There will be one later, so don't want to go too in detail just for review, but he made a mix of really lowbrow, trashy, gory, sleazy B movies, horror B movies. And then he also made some more introspective films or serious movies like Nightbirds, which is a personal favorite. I love that movie. Seeds, which is my favorite, and The Fleshpot of 42nd Street. Man worked in a lot of genres, and he's well known for both the B movies and those, though. This certainly falls in the B movie category, and it has a lot of what I like about Milligan stuff. And I want to start this by saying it's not good, but it's good. The films in the B movie category are very lowbrow, cheaply made. A lot of the times the actors feel like they're reading their lines off screen, or it's a first take, and you're going to see a lot of that in Guru the Mad Monk. There are scenes in this where characters literally will go back and repeat their lines to make sure they get there, and Andy just leaves it in. There are little stumbles by characters. The makeup effects are not very good. You can definitely see through this. Everything looks kind of like a small theater troupe put it together. But that is its charm to me. There's something very hypnotic about the way that Milligan films his, projects. And this one is no different. The effects are not great. The costumes are weird and look like they're from a costume store, but it all kind of just works together really well for me. It has a late 60s B movie vibe to it, which I really appreciated. And this one is it's a little bit more mean spirited than something like the Ghastly ones and such like that. The Ghastly ones is not super lighthearted, but I mean it's so silly at points that can't take it seriously. This one feels a little bit more mean. Kind of reminded me of Milligan's other film, The Torture Dungeon, which is another favorite of mine. With like cross, um, it's not really branding because it's like a cross that's on fire and like put on people, and hangings, and you know, vampirism and all this stuff, and it never feels like silly, despite the dialogue oftentimes being silly, unintentionally. Um, and the soundtrack in this is really good. I really like. Um, Milligan definitely had an eye and an ear for a lot of what he did. Um, the soundtrack in this is really great. It's very reminiscent of a 60s B movie, like I said. I mean, this is around that time, right at 1970. Just at times kind of like corny, like monster movie music, and at times more atmospheric, and I really appreciated that difference between them. Um, and the acting in this, while not great, I do think is worth mentioning, like applauding in a little bit. I really liked Guru as a character. The actor that plays him was very into the role. Definitely choose the scenery whenever he's on screen. Really makes his scenes entertaining, like to the maximum degree that they could be. Carl is fine in this. I think out of like the actors, he's actually probably the best actor. You definitely connect with him across the film. Nadja also does a good job. She's not in the movie as much as the other two, but it does, pretty decent. Everybody in this film, not bad for like the most part. I mean, they are rereading lines on occasion and stuff, but when they, for the most part, they deliver their lines effectively and they're good, and the characters are fun. Some of them are more grounded in reality versus Guru, which is like this very loud, boisterous character, which I think the comparison between them is really interesting. And yeah, as far as negatives for this film, I know a lot of my positives sound like negatives, but yeah, Milligan is a director that you kind of just have to accept as he is. I think having a little bit of backstory to him makes it more interesting, so I would recommend that. I definitely recommend picking up the set as well. I actually do unironically really enjoy Milligan's movies a lot. Not even in like a so bad they're good sense. I don't know. I find them very charming. Um, well, for these, stuff like Seeds is very dark and disturbing, but that's a previous review. But as far as negatives, my biggest complaint of this is how abruptly the film ends. There's not really like a really good like lead out. Things do wrap up for the most part, but it's very abrupt. Like the movie literally just stops. It stops mid song. It stops when people are like walking. There's no fade out. Um, it feels like a scene was cut from the end of the movie, and that was kind of odd. Um, but really, that didn't affect my rating that much. I gave this a 4 out of 5, which is, what I give the majority of Milligan's B movies, because I really do find them charming, despite their flaws. Yeah, definitely check this one out. Get the box set. This is one of the best, like, movie investments that I've made, because every film in this that I've seen is great. Comes with a nice essay book there too. So, yeah. And as always, I've been your host, Herschel Gills, signing off for today. 0 thoughts, 0 editing, 0 planning, and 0 brain cells. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't. Keep your notifications on. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks.